Um, hey everybody, welcome to this Lights on After School event. My name is Scott Mann. I'm with VentureLab, and today we're shining a light on the amazing work that everyone out there is doing, all the learning being done in after school, on weekends, in the summertime. And in this event specifically, we're going to be bringing you this group of entrepreneurs that you see on the screen. They're going to share their stories and their insight. It definitely field your questions. So please use the Q&A as part of this webinar format. We have the chat box as well. We definitely want to take advantage of this opportunity to have these amazing minds and entrepreneurs that have their ideas. They're going to share what their process is like, and you can get some tips and tricks from them. A quick thanks to the After School Alliance for making this event possible, to all those after school administrator and frontline staff on the daily making quality education happen for our youth, and then the behind the scenes work that goes on at the local, the state, the federal level that provides funding for these programs. Special shout out to the Mott 50 State After School Network, all y'all out there working hard. And also a quick thank you to the Young Entrepreneur Institute and the Ohio Afterschool Network for helping plan this event. So we're going to be on for about 20 minutes, 20 to 30, with our panel of entrepreneurs, sharing stories, answering questions. We also have an activity set up for you today. So if you're out there, whatever state, from East Coast, West Coast, out on the islands, if you want to get an idea of what entrepreneurship is about, I'm going to drop a link in the chat here, and we have set up an activity that you can do with your kids, or if you're a youth out there wanting to see what this process is like, check it out. You'll also be able to see ideas that are going on in other parts of the nation and in other states. So a really cool opportunity. You can go in there and share. So if y'all could drop that Padlet link in there. And yeah, thank you, Natalie from West Hill in PA, out in Pennsylvania. If you would, in the chat, let us know what state you're coming in from, what's the name of your program or school, and we're going to do the same. So yeah, let's get started here. We're going to do a quick round of introductions. Naya, you want to start us off?
Hi, my name is Tanaya, and I am from Akron, Ohio, and I go to Mayo Christian Academy.
Awesome. What about you, Talaria?
Hi, my name is Hilaria Watkins. I live in Blackwood, Ohio, and I go to Wilton Heights.
All right, got our Ohio rep out there. Welcome. Julia?
Hi, my name is Julia Schatz. I live in Texas, and I go to Brill Elementary.
Cool. And you, Katie?
Hi, my name is Katie, and I'm from California, and I go to Torrey Pines High School.
Nice. Thank you. And Ria?
Hi, my name is Rihanna Bell. I live in Oahu, Hawaii, and I go to Waialua High and Intermediate.
Yay. And so y'all can see in the chat box, we've got people from around the nation that are joining us today in these, I won't call them young entrepreneurs, because guys, what you see in front of you are entrepreneurs. I've seen a 105-year-old entrepreneur, and I've seen some amazing 6-year-olds, and entrepreneurship is a spirit. It's a way of thinking and doing. And let's get into that. Let's hear how some of these entrepreneurs got their start. So we'll, turning it back over to you, Naya, how did you get started in entrepreneurship?
Well, I always have the business mindset to go and get. So my mom put me in Emmanuel, which has an entrepreneur program in class. So I went to the MyStar program for summer, and they taught me things. That's how I started.
Excellent. What about you, Julia?
I went to a VentureLab entrepreneurship camp over the summer, and kind of. And from there, I grew the idea of a baking business, and my brother and I grew it into a real business.
Cool. And what about you, Talaria?
I started my business when I was 7 years old after a Cub Scout project ended. We cut grass and basil, and it was so interesting, I wanted to keep growing stuff. Then my parents wondered what could grow in the winter, and I said mushrooms, because mushrooms can grow in the dark.
Awesome. So you sell mushrooms? Super cool. What about you, Ria? What is your, how did you get started in entrepreneurship?
I started going to After School All Stars when I was going into 7th grade, and we had to do a summer program. So I went to the summer program, and there was a teacher named Miss Tosa, and she did like entrepreneurship project with us. And yeah.
Awesome. Shout out to Miss Tosa. Katie?
Yeah, so similar to Naya, I think I've always had like this entrepreneurial and business type mindset. But I joined clubs in high school like DECA that kind of cemented my interest for entrepreneurship. So I actually don't have a business, but for my Girl Scout Gold Award, I created a program that's centered around youth entrepreneurship and financial literacy.
Very cool. I'm seeing kind of similarities that all of y'all got started, and just to the after school community out there listening, that there was some motivation and some sort of initial input from that program, from the Girl Scouts, from the after school, from the summer programs and things. So that is wonderful, seeing that that's a real big springboard for these entrepreneurial ideas. Katie, you said that you didn't necessarily have a business, but like with your Girl Scout Gold Award, and for those who don't know, that's the highest honor that you can achieve as a Girl Scout. So congratulations, Katie, that's awesome. And you said you were part of DECA, but you actually started the DECA chapter. Can you tell us a little bit about that, and then how that entrepreneurial thinking was a part of it?
Yeah, so my friend and I actually founded our DECA chapter at our school after noticing that there was no business-centered clubs. And so I think starting the club was really entrepreneurial, I guess, just because we had to figure out how to like build a club from the ground up. And so we kind of had to navigate all those challenges by ourselves. And I think like a really big part of entrepreneurship is like adaptability. So I really learned firsthand a lot of adaptability through creating DECA.
Definitely. And that highlights out there, whenever we think about this long word that's on my shirt, it's hard to spell. But entrepreneurship isn't always just about a business. It's being adaptable. It's looking for opportunities. So Katie noticed that there was a need for something, and she created something for it. And it wasn't necessarily a business that made money. And that brings me, Ria, you had, talking about your summer experience, you saw a need for something and opportunity seeking. What was your idea? What were you going to create?
So the project was to find something that we enjoyed and try to make it better. So I chose a hydro flask, and basically all I had to do was make a prototype about it, and I'll show you what I did. This is a drawing of it. It is called the sea flask. It's basically a hydro flask with 2 different pockets for an AirPods and a phone, and then this is a different color.
Super cool. Thank you for sharing. So all that prototype, taking your idea, and some people don't get started. They think, oh, I can't be an entrepreneur because I'll never be able to make it. But Ria, you just started with drawing a picture, yeah? And can somebody else, we talked a little bit about how you get started. So Julia, tell us more about your baking business. You got started. What was the first thing that you baked?
We like thought of our favorite, which was chocolate chip cookies, easily. And then we made like looking into all of mostly my baking cookbooks, and found a couple recipes that we tried out and loved the way they taste and thought they would be good business. And we put them in the menu in our website, and the orders just came.
Nice. Yeah, putting it out there, starting with what you know, and making your first cookie. Naya, tell us a little bit more about the details of your business.
I sell homemade lip gloss and lip care. So the first thing I did was like look up all the ingredients that I may need. So like some of my oils I use to like break down the gloss, the base is what we call it, to like make it more shinier, make it more thinner, probably make it more thicker. And we have to look up a lot of ingredients because some people is like allergic probably to like almond oil or like tea tree oil. So we had to make sure we had to combine it with our target market and make sure everyone who I sell to was able to use it.
Awesome. And do you have some customers out there?
Yes.
How long's your business been running?
We've been running for now a year, whole year.
Very cool. And back over to you, Talaria. Where are you at with your business? You're selling mushrooms. How's that going?
Right now, because before coronavirus, we were selling at multiple farmers markets, grocery stores, restaurants, and a hospital. Now, because of the pandemic, we're only selling at one farmers market, grocery store, and restaurant.
Yeah, that seems really tough. And Katie, that brings up kind of that adaptability that you were talking about. And what do you think could be a response in these times? So I know everybody out there listening, school is different, in school, after school time different. It's kind of hard to see our friends. What are those mindsets out there that entrepreneurs use that can help all those kids? Do you have any thoughts on that, Katie?
Oh yeah, sorry. I think one really big important entrepreneurial mindset would be to like be optimistic and confident that things are going to work out, especially since right now is just so unprecedented and like unexpected. I guess we would just have to look forward and stay hopeful that things are going to get better.
Yeah, optimism is a big part of it. That's very true. And just when it's one of those mindsets, definitely. And had somebody in the chat that, and so y'all let us know if there's any ideas that y'all have out there. If you're tuning in and listening, you have a panel of experts in front of you, not only in the business side of things, but also in that positivity and resourcefulness and seeking opportunities. So if you need some advice, you kind of have like your Shark Tank panel here. They're not going to bite you. They're going to give you some good advice. So please let us know what you're thinking. In that optimism, Katie, that makes me think about, and everyone, part of being an entrepreneur is like you want to succeed and like maybe you want to start your business or have an idea, but it's hard. I mean, if being an entrepreneur was easy, everyone would be like, oh, that's what I'm going to do. But it seems like failure is part of this process. So Naya, can you talk a little bit about a moment you've made a mistake or had failure?
Yeah, sorry.
No worries.
Yeah, we did. I had a failure from, I almost sold, this lady was allergic to almond oil. And when we first started our lip gloss line, we put almond oil in there. So it was like a failure because that was a loss of like a sale. And it was like on my part, I felt bad for myself because I had to make myself think, okay, well, everybody can't use certain items and certain oils. So that was one of my biggest failure.
Cool. Thank you for sharing. And that's not easy to come out and share that failure. And I'm sure you learned a lot from it. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't use it no more.
There you go. Learn from that mistake. We've got a question coming in, so I want to pause that, and we'll definitely come back to that topic of the failure and how it's just part of learning. But someone's asking, like, what made you think of your business idea? So, Solario, you shared what made you think of yours. You were at the Boy Scouts and you had that kind of basil idea, and then you were thinking, what could you do in the winter? Do you eat mushrooms yourself? Do you like mushrooms?
Yes, I do. I eat mushrooms a lot.
And so thinking of the other food business, Julia, what made you think of baking? So why Sweet Treats by Julia? You're on mute, Julia. Can you unmute for a second, please?
I have like always loved like baking, like when I was younger, if it was baking at grandma's house or just for fun, well, it was always a favorite of mine. And I just love eating and making them. So I thought when in the camp they told me we were supposed to make an idea of a business that we would create. I was just chapped with baking, and I thought that now I am getting way better at baking, and I thought that my family and like other friends love our cookies and treats, and so that it would be great business.
Awesome. Yeah, starting with that, it almost seems like a passion, like you love cookies, so you're going to start a cookie business. Like Talario saw this opportunity and had an experience with food, and he loves mushrooms. So Naya, what about you? Where was your lip gloss business come from? Your skincare line?
It came from that I'm a girly girl sometimes, so I like lip gloss, so like I keep a lot in my purse. So as me having a business mindset is that why won't I do something that I really like and can make money from it? So I started talking to my mom about certain things, and she said, why not? You could do anything you could put your mind to. So took hours and hours to get how I want my lip gloss now, but I got it.
Nice. Yeah, that I think y'all listening out there, the perseverance and the part that this isn't easy. And I mean, as all of these amazing entrepreneurs can attest to, there are those setbacks and failures, but that's part of the process. I have a question out there. And so Ria, you're kind of in this position where you've got a cool idea. What do you think your next step is? Like, how would you start your business? And then Katie, I'm going to bring you in to kind of give your perspective on that same question after Ria goes.
So far I only have, like I said, I showed you guys a drawing. So I feel like the next steps would be making a prototype and showing it to people so they know like what I'm gonna do or what I would want to do.
Okay, and when you show it, what do you hope to get from that when you're like, check this out?
They would think it's a good idea, and then it will give me motivation to actually start something.
Very cool. Katie, what do you think? How do you start a business?
So I actually haven't started a business, but for my project, I'm hoping to expand it. So even though technically I did finish my Gold Award, I worked with VentureLab pretty closely to create some videos for their e-curriculum. And so I'm hoping to work with like more elementary schools to make a course where kids can still learn about youth entrepreneurship. So that's where I'm at right now.
Starting with that idea and that prototype, just making it. So Julia made her first cookie. Talario had to grow that first mushroom. Naya made her first lip gloss. And Ria's got that prototype. It's one of the first steps that an entrepreneur takes after they come up with their idea. And you just have to try and then put yourself out there and get started. I have another question out here of where do you sell your stuff? Naya, where do you sell your stuff? How do you get customers?
So I sign up for like pop-up shops, and I do like big events, like Expire was one of my biggest events. And then I have social media as well. We have an Instagram. Right now we're working on our website to get up. But yeah, that's how I usually just sell it.
Cool. Well, what's your Instagram, Naya, so people can check it out?
It's gloss_up_by_Nye.
Very cool. Keep it glossy. That's what Naya says. Awesome. And then what about you, Julia? How do you reach your customers?
At first, like with our business, kind of like with our website, that would help, like that's where people would order it, but to get people to actually like search that up and order, our mom would like post on Facebook things about Julia Sweet Treats to get people like, and we started this during COVID, so it kind of like when people were just like sitting around in their houses, or like birthdays that were, not as fun as usual without being able to touch everyone, people would order cookies, and that gave us a lot of business. And the Facebook got, since Facebook is so big, it got people from farther places than just like a house that is like a 5-minute drive. It got expanding more and more.
Yeah, that social media is definitely an outlet. That's a big one. What about you, Talaria? And this question, not just only how do you reach them, but how many customers would you say you have?
So I sell my mushrooms at farmers markets, grocery store, and a restaurant. Those are where I sell my fresh products the most. My dry products I sell at my website, tigermushroomfarms.com. And I have a good wide view of customers.
Right on. And we have great examples of kind of products that a business can sell, and that other part of entrepreneurship is maybe a service oriented and taking action. So Katie, you said that you've worked with youth, and like through your DECA organization that you helped found, how many, and we could call those customers because those are definitely people that you serve, and you're giving them value. How do you reach those customers, and how many do you think you have served through those experiences?
So through my Gold Award, I believe I've taught over 90 kids, but my course is still being taught in elementary school, so hopefully it'll be able to reach more kids. But through DECA, we originally only had 4 members, but since the last 3 years, we've grown our chapter to be around 40 members now. So yeah.
That's 10x. That's big. Yeah, congratulations on that. And Rhea, wrapping this part up around customers, who do you want to be who is your target market? Who do you want to sell this idea you have to of the hydro sleeve?
I guess people in general, people who like water bottles, people who work out. And since this is also solar powered, people who like to be in the sun or the beach.
Definitely, which works in Hawaii. You've definitely thought about who your customers are and responded to their needs. That's awesome. We've got some great questions rolling in, so I'm going to address a couple. One is specifically for you, Talario. How do you keep up with demand? Is that an issue? And if so, how do you get people what they're ordering?
Usually in the website, when you order the mushrooms, you pick them up from where I sell at my farmer's market, the Worthington market. That's where I sell my mushrooms. So you would order your mushrooms from my website, and then we would save them at the farmer's market, and you'd have to come to the farmer's market to pick them up.
Cool. Yeah, I'm sure with COVID, you've had to make some adjustments with that. Yeah. Thank you, Talario. I had some questions come in and I want to address them. And so this is from a couple different places. So I'm going to combine this, and I'm just going to open it up to anybody that wants to unmute. But it's this idea of that inspiration, but specifically who's inspired you in this journey of entrepreneurship that you've been on? Who and how?
The person who inspired me was my principal and my mom. I would say my principal because she's like a great entrepreneur. She really helped me, really helped me learn and like learn the target market and like branding wise. So she very inspires me to keep going. And I go for my mom because like when my mom, like if I want to slack off, my mom's like, no, you gotta keep going. We're gonna push to keep going. So them is the two main people that really inspire me.
Anybody else? Ria, Katie, Julia?
My like from the VentureLab entrepreneurship camp, that like going to like this was a week-long camp, so every day when I went, it was like being pushed to feel forward and like don't give up if you like find a problem with your, like some people do like their prototypes, if they find a problem with that, or if we were pushed to like find a way to if we had a problem, how would we handle that problem, or if we had something good, how would we show that, and all that stuff. It really helped to push me to my greatest ideas. And
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it takes something. I think all entrepreneurs have that in common. There's some sort of source outside of them that's often an individual from their family that's kind of pushing. I mean, as humans, we all need that little push. What about you, Katie, and your experiences? Who inspires you?
Yeah, honestly, I think my parents probably inspired me the most. In middle school, I started my own bath bomb shop where I like made little bath bombs and sold them through Etsy. And having my parents just be so encouraging and like giving me the feeling that I can do things, I think really inspired me. So that in high school, I was able to start Young Entrepreneurs and start DECA. And I think just having that encouragement and feeling of like positivity was something that shaped me into the person I am today.
Awesome. Shout out to all the parents out there making it happen. What about you, Rhea? Do you have any inspirations that kind of motivates you to be your best self, your best entrepreneur?
I would say my parents as well, and also for like the entrepreneurship, I would say Miss Tosa, because she's the one who got me into stuff like this with the projects and all the stuff she did.
Very cool. And that's just with the audience out there, people tuning in and listening, the power that you as an staff member have in your programs and after school serving youth is it's immeasurable. It's really powerful. So give them that courage, that confidence, that inspiration to come up with an idea and get started. One of the places that you can get something like that, the Mizzen by Mott app, and we're going to drop that information, is an app that you can download where you can find activities such as youth entrepreneurship and a wide range of things. The app is cool. It's got other functions that can help you in your program. So a spot for you to find resources. We had a really specific question from Clark out there, who it sounds like Clark has a business. How do you ship orders? And that might be coming from Julia.
Yeah, for Julia Sweet Treats, we're still kind of finding our way. Like we're searching through the, like looking at YouTube and searching up on Google how to ship cookies, and we're getting ideas. We're still building our way to try and find how to do that, because we definitely have family out of state and out of town, so we really, and they really want to find out how to like get it to them.
Okay. And Talario, how do you get people your products now? You mentioned farmers market, and now that COVID happened, how do you fulfill your orders?
Like I said, my orders for my fresh products, like I said, for my website, TigerMushroomFarms.com, they order the mushrooms and then they pick them up at the farmers markets. Considering I only do one farmers market, so that's the only one that they can pick it up at.
Okay.
Farmers market, farmers market.
Cool. And you, Naya?
If we do have like customers that don't live our state or like where we at, we usually just go through UPS. Yeah, UPS, and we just ship it out like that.
Cool. Thanks for that very practical question. Y'all hit us up with those and we'll do our best to get to them all with the time we have left. And I had another really, really good question here. Entrepreneurs, this isn't math. It's not science, reading. Like you go to school, like you have obligations and responsibilities. And I'm going to throw this one over to you first, Katie. Running DECA, being a Gold Scout, Gold Award, Girl Scout, active and you're also a musician. You do all kinds of things. How do you have time for school when you're being an entrepreneur?
I think just having good time management. So in middle school, I used to do rhythmic gymnastics, and that took up like 20 hours of my time. And so from there, I kind of learned how to do my homework like efficiently and quickly. And so I think that translated well to high school. So I was able to balance all these activities just through like good time management.
Very cool. And y'all, I'm an adult, and guess what? I work on every day. Time management. What about you, Ria?
How I manage like entrepreneurship schools and stuff like that with school, I like kind of schedule my time. I would do like alarms to do one thing. I would wake up at a certain time, just being specific with my timing, I guess.
Nice. Alarms. That's some practical advice that connects right to what Katie said, time management. And I'm doing the exact same thing. I set my alarm throughout the day. What about Talario? How do you manage your entrepreneurship and your venture with school?
How I manage it, I mainly focus on as school more important because I have to be in school I want to make it to college. So I just say I have school as more important. So I do schoolwork first and then I focus on my business.
Priorities, and that is directly involved with time management, y'all. If you've got two options, if you're going to go shoot hoops with my friends or do my math homework, like which one are you going to prioritize? And so entrepreneurship gets in that mix. You've got to pick one to go first and become really efficient with your time. What about you, Naya? Entrepreneurship and school, do they mix?
Kind of. Since I'm in school, like actually in school, I try to do all my homework in class since me and all my teachers have like a schedule, so they'll let me get off. Like if I finish my reading, they'll let me go do my homework because since we do have like a relationship like that. But then when I get home, like I get home like around 7 because I play basketball sports wise. So, but I'm the type I stay up to get work finished and then go to sleep. So it'd be easier for me than you probably usually your kids, because like I would stay up to get everything done first, and then I would take a cat nap.
Cat naps, another good practical tip. It'll serve you well. Nice. What about you, Ria?
What was the question again?
I think you may have answered it, but school and entrepreneurship. Sorry. What about you, Julia?
I like when school started, we've had like, I don't know, 1 or 2 orders in every 2 to 3 weeks. Like our business really slowed down to like used to be like in the summer, my family was kind of in like full isolation because it was all like kind of new to us. And we would get like order like every single day. We're rushing everywhere trying to get orders in. So now business has really slowed down because now everyone pretty much has been busy, including us. We've got much busier. Like Nick, my brother, and my partner, he said he has like baseball a lot and I have volleyball a lot. So we kind of have to find our ways, like sometimes if I'm not available, like I'm at volleyball or somewhere, then Nick, well, as we call it, take one for the team. He'll bake the order, make the orders, bake them, and deliver them. My mom does most of the delivery boxes. Like she will, we know how to do it for like future times that my mom can't be there, but she will like put these really nice boxes together, and we'll put the cookies in with a wrapping over it, and there we'll put the top of the box on with pink and blue are ribbon colors on it, and we'll deliver it like that. And so we kind of
it sounds like teamwork. And I hear from several people, and part of entrepreneurship is collaboration, communication, making all that work effectively. You're not going to find an entrepreneur that works by themselves. It is definitely a team effort to have success, or to work through those failures and find opportunities. We had another question, and while we're on the topic of balance of school and time management, what are the things that you've learned from thinking like an entrepreneur, or having this experience of offering a service or a product to someone that's helped you in school? Naya?
Okay. I feel like that helped me with like in school would be like, since I have a financial literacy class, that really helps me more with my business for like if we do for time and management. But then for me having like to keep going, like don't like, you probably have your ups and downs. So like maybe one month you have like 50 sales, and then the next month you only will have like two sales. Just don't like, just keep going and say, well, next month will be a better month.
Nice, that perseverance. Anybody else out there, how being an entrepreneur, these experiences you've had with entrepreneurship has helped you in some way with school?
I can go. I think being an entrepreneur involves a lot of problem solving. And so like when making my gold award, I had to face a lot of problems, and I had to learn to adapt and just learn to solve them quickly. And so I think that I've applied a lot of those skills in school, whether it's like working with a team for a group project, or just trying to like figure out a problem in like math or reading. I think definitely entrepreneurship, those skills that I've learned have translated well into school.
Definitely. And so I want to throw out to all those, the adults out there listening and working with kids in this after school community, that these foundational learning experiences that you can give students in entrepreneurship through the different curriculums and resources that are out there they translate well, that bridge back to the school day. And you'll see those gains in the core academic content areas as you're hearing is helpful. What about Talario? How has being an entrepreneur helped you in school?
Being an entrepreneur helped me with math, actually. I used to struggle with multiplication, but now because I have to give back change to my customers, it helped me a lot with math in school.
Nice. That is very specific, explicit skill. What about you, Ria?
When you're an entrepreneur, you get motivation and stuff like that. So it helps me stay motivated doing schoolwork instead of always procrastinating to like not do it or put it off to the side. It really helps with that.
Very cool. And that comes back to that time management, which is just a huge life skill of having these different projects or classes and making all of them happen and looking for ways to be successful in those and learn from them. Very cool. We've got a few, anybody else have did we hear from everyone about how being an entrepreneur has helped in school? Okay. We got some questions coming in about the money, the revenue side of things. One is kind of how do you keep track of that, and how much money do you make?
For us, we kind of have like a Google Doc or something like that that we keep all of our every single order and if they paid or not, and how they paid, if it was cash or Venmo, which is our two options on how to pay. And there we can also like add it up to see how much we make. And now business has slowed down, so we've kind of like stayed where we have been since like the summer. We've made around, I'd say, $860 something.
Cool. What about you, Talaria? How do you keep track of your expenses, and how much revenue have you brought in?
I keep track of my sales. I use an app called Square, which helps me keep track if they pay with cash or credit card. And in like the only time I do the farmers market is that Saturday. So how much revenue I bring in would have to be, how much I make a day would be $500.
Nice. I might have to ask you for a loan. That's a good source of revenue. What about you, Naya?
I'm a very organized person, so we have two ways just to make sure. So we have a Google's document, like Google's thing. Then I write down everything. So I write down like say if I have an order, I would write it down, and then I would say, did they pay in cash, or we do have Cash App as well. So that's how I do it. And I can say, because I only go to pop-up shops on Saturday as well, to like flea markets and stuff. So like when we do go, like I have one Saturday, so it'll be this month. So we usually make around 300 to 400.
Nice. And I want to highlight, and Katie shared with us earlier the number of students that she reached. You said it was 90, right, Katie?
Yeah, around 90.
So there's lots of organizations out there that are not-for-profit is what they might be called, and they still depend on revenue, so they can have staff and pay employees. But someone like VentureLab, for example, we measure a lot of what we do by the number of students and the number of people we reach. So that's another form of currency and how you can measure that value. And that's huge. And so thinking out there, y'all, entrepreneurship, you've got a business idea. It can also be that take action. And when you identify some sort of opportunity or a challenge around you where you want to invent or create something, or just have empathy and help people, it doesn't have to be selling a product, because entrepreneurship is way more than that. It's that imagination and creativity coming up with that idea and seeing how you can get that to other people to help them. Had a couple questions now. I want to bring this in. If someone has an idea and they want to get started, and they do need money to get started, where do you get money from? Like if you need to, so for DECA, if you needed money to start your club for dues or to have an initial gathering and have pizza, or Talara, you needed the growing medium for your mushrooms. Naya needed the things. Julia needed flour. Ria's going to need something to make her prototype. Where do you get money for those things?
For us, we kind of like, I'll say cheated. In the beginning, being such like a small unknown business, because in the beginning, a website was just like way too big to be thinking. And so our parents kind of funded, giving out the, getting money and building the website stuff, getting the website, but like getting supplies and all was my mom was always searching for the cheapest thing, going to new grocery stores and trying to find if they had different flour, sugar, brown sugar that was cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
But after we were kind of rolling, we had a very serious conversation on paying for everything ourselves.
Yeah, and that initial investment. What about you, Nye?
I would say okay, so lemonade stands was really a good help, because for one, that gives you the opportunity to get a good customer service. That gives you the opportunity to know how a business will operate. So why making money? So me and my sister Takia, we do like little lemonade stands. Like our school do it sometimes. So our school let us keep all the money we raised. So all the money we raise, we either split it or it all go to my business, so we can make a double profit.
Cool. Okay, so like a little fundraiser. So we've got starting up with an investor, with AKA mom and dad, who are willing to put up some upfront capital or money to start your business. Fundraisers. Anybody else out there?
Similar to Naya, for DECA, we had a lot of fundraisers. So we had like bake sales. We sold like boba at our school too, just to get more money. But the DECA organization itself has these grants that you can apply for. And so for the past couple of years, we've gotten some of those grants that have funded our competitions. And now we're like looking towards individuals and organizations that have sponsorships. So hopefully we can attend more competitions.
Yes, those are DECA is a career technical service organization, and so youth out there, ask whoever your program, your teacher is, your instructor, to help you look for those things, because they're definitely out there, and that's just one example. And also within your community, there are businesses and there are other organizations that are wanting to help motivated, confident, problem-solving entrepreneurs like yourself to take that idea to the next step. So you can go out there with that confidence and give them a pitch, see what they say. Definitely. So let's see. We have the grants, get the questions here. Another practical question, and then we're going to wrap it up with a final spot here. Do you need any licensing or any documentation, paperwork to do what you're doing? Or can you just start?
For us, oh, sorry.
Yeah, okay, you can go.
Thanks. We kind of, just, it's kind of like when I don't know if y'all do this or anything, but like make cookies sometimes, like just for fun or something. Like I used to before it became a business. You kind of just like at home have supplies, or, for us, we had to buy our supplies, and from there you just bake it and sell it. No, really, like big stuff, documenting stuff, but like we do have, like money stuff. We have a debit card, under my brother's name to buy stuff for us. So it's all under our name, because, well, he's old enough to have that under his name. I'm not. So that's
Julie, we got a good follow-up question here, specifically for food and making food. Do you need a food handler's license that you know of?
No.
Okay. And that's something that really good question coming out from Marlena and Normalinda. Anytime, kids, just a little PSA, if you are working with food and you have that and you're making a sale, look at your state laws and licensing, because normally there is some sort of food handler requirement that you have to have. I think it's called a cottage food. You can check that out. It's very inexpensive. Shalaria, do you have any information on that?
For inspector, my business is inspected by the Ohio Department of Ag.
and they give you a thumbs up, you can sell your mushrooms, or thumbs down?
Yeah.
Good, he's got the thumbs up. Naya?
So I have my LLC, so that means I'm registered with the state. So like that's like having, if I need like a credit card or a bank or like stuff like that, I do have my LLC, and yeah, that's what I have, like documents, if you can call it that.
Yeah, so you pay taxes.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So y'all ask those people out there, ask your business teachers to have them their limited liability corporation where you're structuring your business as a separate entity. And yeah, if you're getting into it. So in parting, as we're wrapping up our questions here, and in our last few minutes, I'm just going to ask you, the panel, your peers out here, what advice would you give them? Just general advice around that entrepreneurial thinking, getting started, some wisdom that you've picked up along the way. What do you want to share with your peers? And we'll start with you, Julia.
I would probably say that, like, you need to fail forward, not like a fail means I can't do it. I messed up. Now it's over. You need to continue pushing and just continue going on and don't quit.
Awesome advice. What about anybody else? Want to hop in? Katie?
I would just say, maybe going off of Julia, I would just say to go for it. I know for like my Gold Award, it seemed really intimidating and I was scared. But just like making that leap is probably the biggest or like the hardest part. And so I would just say to go for it. If you have an idea, don't be afraid of failure. Just start your own business, I guess.
I would also agree with the rest of them. I would just say keep going, because you're going to have your ups and downs. And that's what an entrepreneur is, a risk taker. You're going to have to take a little risks to keep going.
Rhea? Any advice out there?
Mine is the same thing as Katie and Naya. I would say don't be afraid don't be afraid to fail, or just don't be afraid to try new things. Because doing this thing was my first time doing, I guess, entrepreneurship. So I was a bit scared at first, but I still tried it anyway because it's a good opportunity for me.
Yeah. Awesome. Hilario, in parting, any advice or wisdom you have out there?
I'd say do something that you're interested in, something that you won't immediately give up on because it's too boring or it's just too hard for you to do. Start out small. Don't immediately try to start doing big things. And also don't give up. If something knocks you down, just get back up and try to do it again. Yeah,
y'all, you're giving me the feels here. This is great advice, y'all listening out there. Find something you enjoy, you love. Start small. Just take that risk. Take the first step. You can have the vision of what you want it to be, but just take that first step. And when you do fall down and failure happens, because it will, you get back up and you persevere and you keep going, and you will get there. Julia?
I am really sorry. I have volleyball. Can I quickly go?
And
Thank you so much.
Enter in real life. Y'all, Julia, thank you very much. Have good practice. Spike on somebody.
Bye.
Bye. So I think with that panel, we're at 4:54. Thank you so much for your time and for giving this inspiration to all the people that are here, that are listening, watching, and that will in the future. So keep going. We're going to check back in with you sometime and hear where you're at, what those failures and successes have been in your entrepreneurial journey. Other people out there, again, we want to thank the After School Alliance for this opportunity to shine a light on after school and youth entrepreneurship, all the organizations that are out there doing that work. Special thanks again to Young Entrepreneur Institute. They are a youth entrepreneurship organization that has resources. At VentureLab, we also have resources that you can use to give these experiences to your kids. Thank you to the 50 State After-School Network and Ohio Afterschool Network specifically for helping plan. Check out the Mizzen by Mott app, and you can find some of these amazing resources amongst other things. So yeah, thank you again, panelists, for your time. I know you have your lives and prioritizing in that time management, so I'll let you get back to it. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Take care.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Remember, you are an entrepreneur.